Hey everyone, I'm Travis Wright, and you're listening to I'm a Fan Of, your show for music, comedy, and more. As always, if you're a musician, a comedian, or just someone that does something interesting, please reach out to me on Instagram at TravisCanListen. You can find me on Facebook at I'm a Fan Of, and you can reach out to me through the website at I'mAFanOfPod.com. This episode, I had the pleasure of interviewing stand-up comic Jordan J. He's from right here in Dallas, Texas. Very funny comic. He's still a little early in the game. He's been doing comedy about 2 years. And I get really excited when I meet people like this and get to chat with them because I was fortunate enough to watch him on one of Emily Griefer's show. We've talked about it on her episode. She hosts shows at Dallas Comedy Club called Who to See at DCC. And she's often showing you comics that maybe you haven't got to see perform, but it's someone that she's worked with and she knows they're very funny, so she gets to throw them on a show. That's exactly how I found out about Jordan J. He was on one of her lineups. From there, I just started following his social media, and I got to watch him at an open mic, and then I got to hear him on an episode of Kill Tony, which he did a phenomenal job on. I'll link that in the show so you can go check that out as well. But he's a really funny comic, and more importantly, what I love about, outside of his comedy, what I love about him is he seems like he's a hustler, like he wants to be funny, like he wants to work hard. I think in most art forms, that's what a lot of people are lacking, and not because they don't want to, it's just it's hard enough being an artist. And then you have to think about all these different ways that I need to push myself as a business and as a brand, which is, for most artists, those two words, business, brand, all that is just, it's disgusting, right? And I get it, that fucking sucks, but you also want to be successful, and that's the really difficult part. Sometimes you can make incredible art, and it's difficult to get it out there to people. So I appreciate that this younger guy who's fresh into comedy is putting a lot of value on that, in addition to being a funny guy. I had a great chat with him. We talked about so much stuff. He is really funny. He's got his own type of charisma that I really like. It seems like he kind of understands who he is and who he wants to be on stage, and that's something that's hard to teach, you know. But anyway, I enjoyed chatting with him. I think he's a funny comic. Please go watch one of his shows. I hope you enjoy the episode. Here he is, Jordan J. The I'm a Fan Of podcast, music, comedy, and more. Welcome to the show, Jordan J.
Man, glad to be
What's
here,
up,
man.
Dude?
Hey.
I'm so excited to have you on for multiple reasons. One, I've already brought you up on this podcast with Emily Griefer.
Okay.
She was just on, and we were talking about her Who to See at DCC show.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I got to see you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And because I was talking to her about, I feel like there's this whole culture of comics, specifically black comics, that I don't know where they're performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's intentional, but there's definitely like a separation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or is that just me?
No, there's definitely a gap, man.
Yeah.
In the comedy scene, as far as the demographic of, you know, if it, you know, black, white.
And I don't think it's on purpose, but I think I think you hang around who you hang around. Yeah. And if they're not putting on shows at clubs, then I mean that like it seems to be a very like who you know kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely that.
Yeah. So when I saw you on the DCC show, on Emily Griefer's show, I was like, oh, this is like some like new comic.
Yeah.
And then I go to your page and I'm like, no, this is not a new comic. This is
man.
like, how long have you been doing it now?
Well, January 27th will be 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
So, you know, still a baby in the game, man.
Yeah.
But
you're definitely putting in time, getting shows out there.
Yeah, man. I'm doing it. Definitely some dope people on the scene, though. You know, as far as putting me up. Shout out to Shed G, Emily Griefer for sure. Yeah. She was one of the first people to put me on the show. She showed a lot of love and guidance.
Yeah.
So, and
she's one of my local favorites because I feel like she doesn't get caught up in any nonsense.
Oh man, yeah, she's pretty and she's pretty mellow too. So which is sometimes, you know, that's a treat to be around.
Everybody else kind of crazy around you?
No, not really, but you know, sometimes you got a lot of people that come up to you after shows, and then you got some comics that are high energy, which is cool because I mean, hey, you got your thing. But sometimes when you're trying to have a regular conversation, you can just talk, and it's not like let me try to get this joke in real quick. Like, cause sometimes you can pick up when comics are trying to work jokes. Which
yeah, I know what you mean.
I get it, but you know, sometimes it's like I kind of want to have like a regular conversation. Yeah. So that's one thing that I can say that, you know, she's good for as far as when we all hanging around.
I know what you mean because I'm not a comic, right? No desire to be a comic.
Okay.
Just enjoy comedy.
Yeah.
And but because of this show and just going out to comedy shows a lot, it's like I've met a lot of the locals and we're friends enough to where we might go get drinks or something afterwards.
Yeah.
And so there was a bigger headliner that came through, and I came to watch them with some of the locals. And then afterwards, we all went and hung out with that headliner, the feature, and the opener on that show.
Okay.
Who were not locals, right? And that was the thing I noticed. It's like they couldn't turn it off. They thought because these are comics, we've got to do comedy 24/7. It's like these people are on the road. They just did their work.
Right.
They just want to relax, you know? And you could see it was all trying to get like a one-liner in, like if I can make this person laugh. And
it's the worst when it's in the green room. Like I've done a couple guest spots in like sometimes it's like comedians that work with this comedian, but they're not even on the show. They just kind of like, they know the person. They come in and it's like they're trying to, like, I've seen two comedians literally like go like battle to be like the funniest person in the green room. And it's kind of awkward because you see what's going on, and you don't want to just like sit there like this, so you kind of like chuckle and stuff. But I kind of just like move around and stuff.
you give them like the
yeah, because I'm like because now this headliner is gonna be like, he's gonna like be pissed at everybody, because I don't know, I might not have a relationship with him or her, you know, so they might think I'm just maybe that kind of person. But
the green room's really it's really weird. I have a music background, so I'm used to a green room from like a musician standpoint.
Yeah.
But it's totally different with comedy.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to forget that you're prepping for a show still.
Right.
Right? Because you're just sitting there. It's not like you have an instrument with you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's a whole green room etiquette with comedy that I think is real easy to overlook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some improvs have it posted. No comedians back here unless you're on the show. Mm-hmm. And some comedians kind of ignore it. Some headlines aren't really too picky, but I think it's Black Ron talked about this with Ricky Smiley, but just talked about the green room is like a sacred place, pretty much. So if you're coming back there and you're like fanning out, and it kind of like disrupts the flow of things, because they are trying to prepare, because they got to get up there for 45 minutes, or the feature got to do 25, 30 minutes, and then the host has to be, he got to come with it, so he got to be him or her, honestly, but they got to be with it. And you don't really want to mess up that the energy, So it is definitely there is etiquette for sure.
What's your green room scenario like? What do you like when you're sitting in the green room? How do you prep for you're about to go on stage?
Well, probably like peace. I don't mind like the people that are on the show and like to come hang out, but I'm gonna just chill, because I get nervous, so it's like, all right, like I don't want anything to really distract me, because like I am still new, so I'm still trying to like build the muscle to where like I can perform in any condition, whether I'm sick or I'm mad, or so that's a part of the process, and it takes just a little bit of something to kind of throw off the energy. So kind of peace and quiet. I had an instance where I was it was my very first time headlining. There was the Anne Fran show.
Yeah, out at Addison Improv.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, Addison Improv does these Anne Fran shows on weeknights.
Yeah.
That gives a lot of our locals opportunities to headline, which is great, because you guys, it's hard to get that kind of time as a headliner, and that's a whole different muscle to work.
Right. And then, for this one, my very first one was actually Arlington, because Arlington is...
Okay, I didn't know they were doing them out there too.
Yeah, they do them. They
awesome.
Just kind of started back. So Addison been doing them, boom. But Arlington started doing them maybe 6 or 7 months ago, like regularly doing them. And this was my first time, and I wasn't getting up doing 30 minutes. It was like I do like 15 to 20, and then everybody else does like 8 minutes to 10 minutes. It was,
okay, so it's kind of like a showcase, a
right?
bit.
Yeah, so it's not really like I'm like the headliner, but you are the headline, I guess, because it was Jordan J and friends. So anyways, I'm just in the green room, and I get back there, and somebody's already kind of like filming some stuff. Like I'm like, but it's not even like about the night, it's about something else they got going on.
Right.
And it's like in the green room on Instagram Live. And I'm like,
oh man, that's awkward.
And so I'm like, all right, I'm about to go, because I was trying to eat some wings. When you headline, they give you free. You get anything free, so free drinks and free wings. I'm about to just kick it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like I didn't get mad, but it was definitely like, dang, like now I got to kind of be out at the bar or in the showroom, and
you're not relaxing.
Right. But I mean, it's not going to be a perfect situation every time, so you just learn to adapt. But
that's also like that's just like a product of what you guys have to do as comics now, right? It's like that person you're living in a world where you have to have just content.
Yeah.
So they're probably thinking like, okay, here's an opportunity. Say I'm on this show, do this
Right.
thing, just trying to promote myself.
Right.
And it's like that's the annoying part of always having to promote everything.
Yeah,
you know?
it can get out of hand sometimes, but I respect it at the end of the day. I don't look down upon it or anything because everybody has their own grind that they're working on, and people don't have to cater to me. Like it's Jordan J and friends, but we all getting ready to get on the show and put in some work. So and then we all working together. So me get mad at you because you might not know the green room etiquette. This might be your first time in the green room, and so I can't really get upset. It's just like, all right, I know this is what I wouldn't want to go down in the green room.
Yeah.
So
do you how much time do you do right now on average? Like what kind of slot are you filling usually?
I'll say 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
And how much time do you think you can perform?
I've got a good 15 minutes, but I can be on stage for 25.
Okay.
But I wouldn't like somebody be like, hey, I need you to do 25 minutes. I'm like, hey, it's gonna be, I'm gonna do 15 of my best material, and then the other 10 I might just break it up in between the set, so stretch the set out, and not just be 15 my material front and 10 crowd work. So I might stretch it, but I feel confident saying 15.
And so when you have that, I was asking because when you have like a good solid 15 chunk and you're going up on a show back there in the green room, are you like flipping through note cards? Do you have this set memorized? Or are you thinking like, are you still tweaking that? Or are you trying to add stuff in there? Or do you just go, I've got it down. We're going to go up here and perform right now.
What's weird, man? I've actually like lately been in like a funk. Like this, I had this like a set routine that I did that was like 12 to 15 minutes, like through and through. It was like, okay, this is what I start with, here's the middle part, and this is what I end with. But as of lately, like I have not been able to like lock in on that same 12 to 15, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like, it's like because as a comedian you grow, and so certain jokes that you wrote 3 months ago, it don't feel the same now because you've kind of grown. And so your pacing and stuff might have changed, your delivery, and I think that's kind of what's going on right now. I'm phasing through something. You're always changing, but like I'm going through like a big shift right now. So it's kind of like my trying to wrap it all, bundle it up and stuff like that is it's kind of like a little like spread out right now. But
the same thing happens with music. I told you I have a music background. It's like you'll write a song, you'll play it for 6 months or a year, and then you just start to. Sometimes you're like, okay, here it is again, and you just don't. Sometimes you just don't you don't feel passionate anymore about it,
right.
And then sometimes you just hate it.
Yeah,
you absolutely hate it, and then you look out and people are really enjoying it, but you're thinking,
that's crazy.
I fucking hate this song.
but
with songs, it's like, well, we only have this many, and we can't just like ad lib a song right here. We're not good enough for that,
man.
And so, it gets to where it's like. It's a little different with comedy because it's rare when people aren't like play the hits, right?
Right.
People always want new stuff, but I get it. It's like you're 2 years in, so you need that chunk. But if you're already kind of like, I'm kind of over it a little bit already,
man. And that's kind of, I think that's really what's going on. But I think it's a part of it is like what happened was I stopped going to as many open mics too, which is so important. Like. When you grinding every week, like for a while I was hitting like 5-6 mics a week, which is a lot for Dallas. It's a lot for Dallas and Fort Worth, because I was in Dallas and I was in Fort Worth and I was driving so it's a lot. Some people are like, oh, that's nothing, but we've got a good amount of mics, but it's got to make sense financially. I can't like go broke.
Well, especially how spread out we are.
Right,
driving to Dallas to Fort Worth, that's at least 30 minutes right there, and gas prices going up.
It's you got to figure it out. So and that's kind of what happened. And then like the transition kind of started when like I sold my house and stuff, and so I was really pushing to get that done, get that taken care of, because some people they don't know yet, but it's stressful, man. Like
owning a home.
And then selling it is very stressful. So it's worth it, but it was a lot of stress, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to dial back how many mics I'm going to a week, so I get this house done, because when I'm getting this house done, that's in the evening time, and I don't have time to do that and do comedy and work my regular job. Were you like flipping
a house? Is that what you mean? Or was it one you were living in and just fixing up? Or?
Well, I originally bought the house. I bought it with my brother, and we bought the house to renovate it and rent it out.
Yeah.
But then I started doing comedy, and then he started doing his thing, and so it kind of like our paths kind of like weren't on the it's not we were growing like in a different direction, but it made more sense for us to sell it instead of try to rent out because it takes a little bit longer to get that money. And so we decided to do that. And things turned out pretty good because we did that. So
we've renovated 2 homes. We did one condo, and then we renovated the one we're living in now.
Yeah.
And it's it always changes, right? Like the condo we lived in, we bought it was off like Lovers Lane and Greenville in Dallas, in that area.
Okay.
And it was just, I want to live in this area. I want to be in Dallas, but I can't afford, $350,000 home, right?
Man.
And this was, like probably, I think I bought that in like 2014. So you can't even get homes for $300,000 in Dallas now,
Nah.
And so this condo, it was like $150. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it was just fucking ugly. Like everything on the inside was good, but you went in there and it was just ugly. Everything was old, outdated. The owners painted, like the kitchen was painted green. And it was really bad. And then they made everything with like the cheapest stuff. So like they tried to make it look really nice and fancy with the cheapest materials.
That's the worst.
So it was bad, right?
Yeah, that's the worst.
And so when we decided to move, we lived with it ugly the whole time, and then we renovated it and sold it.
Yeah.
And so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
And then the new house, we were like, we'll do the same thing. We'll live here for a minute, we'll renovate it, and then we'll sell it. And now we just love the neighborhood. So we renovated it to stay in now.
Yeah.
And it's like your plans always change, but
Man.
I love doing that stuff though. Like I just wish I don't have enough money to do it, but it's like I wish I could buy a house every year and just
that would be dope.
Not even just flipping it for the money, but it's like I liked making shitty stuff better.
Yo, that was dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was definitely a dope process, especially when it's hard to see because we started. I'll be honest with you, like we started doing this, like renovating the house because we did a lot of it ourselves. I mean, I'm talking about like everything. So the flooring, the popcorn ceiling, the baseboards, the doors.
Yeah.
The paint the walls.
Anything I could do that didn't require a permit, that's what I would do. Yeah. If it needed a permit, I was like, okay, I don't want to burn my house down.
Right. And that's
so I know
real.
what you mean. We did a lot of the work ourselves.
Yeah. And we saw like it took us. I bought the house in 2019, December 2019. So right before COVID.
Man, yeah.
And the house was like, I bought it for like it was high then to us. It was like, dang, it's a lot. But then COVID hit. Like who would have known that was gonna happen? But then that's when we started construction. So you saying me the whole house was under construction for like 2 years.
And you're living there?
Yeah. So like you got baseboards missing and
that sounds like our home.
This ceiling got popcorn ceiling, this one don't, this one got half. But it ended up working out. And it's kind of I'm using that same mentality approaching comedy.
Dude, it's smart. It's smart to have different things like that too. Hannibal Buress does that. Okay. I don't know if he flips homes, but I remember listening to him on a podcast, and he was like diversifying and like taking his comedy money and buying like apartments in New York. Or no, wait, he's from I think he's from Chicago, maybe. Okay. I can't remember. Wherever he's from, that's where he's buying up real estate. Oh, man. Because he's like, comedy might end. I'm still going to need money
for sure.
And I think it's just important to have stuff outside of comedy, right?
Right.
Where you're not just I'm always a comic. I'm always a comedian.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. Getting ready to buy a business. I don't know what business. Yeah, me and my brother. We going into business. We looking at business right now. We're in the process of acquiring a business loan because if you know anything about buying business, it's not cheap at all, especially depending on what you're buying. But and then to kind of
do you have something you're thinking about? Like a lane you want to go in?
Well, maybe like restaurant, but depending on like if we do have a recession coming, then something that's kind of recession proof. So, so I'm not sure. I kind of want absentee owner, so I don't have to be there every day, and I can get those residuals just coming in, and I keep my regular job. So now I'm making a little bit extra money. I can put this to the side, so I can travel for comedy, and work towards something bigger. Excuse me.
Sorry. So if it was a restaurant. Is it like a restaurant you guys would want to start, or a restaurant you would want to acquire?
Acquire, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's so expensive to like buy, like to start a business. Startup costs is for a restaurant it's crazy. Yeah,
a restaurant seems so high risk to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially depending on what you're buying. Like if you're buying like this big old 9,000 square foot restaurant, and a recession hit, depending on what you're serving. It might tank. And so something like that would be around, like, I don't exactly know. It's just it might not even be a restaurant. We were looking at a business down in Austin.
You know what you had to look at? It's not as glamorous, like it's not as cool.
Okay.
But have you ever thought about like car washes and laundromats?
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff?
Those are definitely absentee on there. And I mean, they bring in pretty good money.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good like that would be like a good starter business
for sure,
right? Because like with the house, you know, it's like there's all these things you don't know,
right?
When we renovated that first condo, we did everything wrong.
Okay.
I mean, we lost so much money.
Really?
We ended up coming out ahead, but
okay,
we got nervous about doing a lot of the work ourselves, so we hired some contractors.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to hire contractors, so we hired really terrible ones.
Okay,
so we ended up having to fire them. And it almost got nasty because we told them, we were like, look, we feel like you did about 75% of the work. That's what we're going to pay you.
Wow.
And they disagreed.
Yeah.
But they were bad. Like they like you said, you put down flooring, right?
Yeah.
When they put down the tile, they put down all the grout, and they didn't know you were supposed to wipe it up afterwards,
for real?
right? And they left it on there for like 3 days.
No way.
Yeah. And so then they were trying to like scrub and get it all up. I can't even remember all the stuff, but it was a lot of stuff like that where it was like, we got to pull pieces back up and redo it.
You ain't gonna see the return on it. You
Right,
do all
it's just
that
getting worse.
Yeah.
And then I think he was the contractor, the main guy. Pretty sure he was just an alcoholic.
Okay.
Like he showed up every day, but it sounded like maybe he spent a lot of his project money instead of paying his workers.
Oh.
So then he was getting like day laborers every day.
Yeah, outside the Home Depot. Like,
and the skill level just kept dropping, right?
Yeah.
And so we ended up having to let him go. And then we kind of learned a lot of those lessons. We did a lot of the stuff by ourselves to finish it out.
Okay.
And then when we got to the second house, we were like, okay, I think we know what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I think we got this figured out.
Man.
And that was a home, not a condo. So we had like everything to worry about, you know. And I just remember we started tearing out the walls. And we bought it knowing like we want a shithole. We want something that's got everything wrong with it so we can get it cheap.
Right.
So we were like, foundation, HVAC, everything, we're prepared for this. And then we were like, and we're prepared for one other thing that we can't plan for.
Okay.
And so we decided to start pulling the walls off. And the woman who lived there before, she owned the house since 1953. Okay. She never changed anything.
Really?
It was exactly the same as 1953.
God, it had to be ugly.
And it was really ugly. And she had not a lot of money, so I think she had like the handyman coming over to fix all the projects, right? Like not anybody who really knows what they're doing, just the guy who kind of knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Sal.
Yeah. So everything that had been repaired was repaired like in the worst way. So like they were cutting through like ceiling joist to run stuff up through the ceiling. So when we're pulling the sheetrock out, like a couple of the ceiling joists are just falling down to the floor, and you're like, well, that's not good. And then when we pulled the kitchen wall apart, the pipe from the kitchen sink had like a huge 6-inch hole in the bottom of it. So every time they ran the sink, the water was running into the wall. And we were thinking, what the fuck is it? You're like, how did this last so long? And that's when it dawned on us. The part of the house that had all the foundation issues was right there. So the home wasn't concrete. It was one of the pier and beam homes, you know?
Yeah.
So the handyman that she had come over, I guess he didn't want to break the news that like this pipe's dumping into the wall and it's going to flood your kitchen. So we have to pull out all your cabinets and fix this pipe and do all this. And the new cabinet. She probably didn't have the money, right? So instead he went under the house and right in front of the wall where that pipe was leaking, he drilled a big hole so that all the water that was coming out of the pipe just went right under the house. And so that's what messed up the foundation, you know. And so it's just pulling everything apart. You just realize like, oh my God, there's so much in all these homes that you have no idea that it would even be a problem. You know?
Squirrels.
Squirrels.
Bro, like when I see people feeding squirrels like on Facebook, I'm like, you can't own a home. There's no way. You gotta live in an apartment.
What's your house infested with squirrels?
Man, I had one squirrel. Well, probably multiple squirrels. I don't know. I didn't tag them or nothing like that. But like when you get rid of squirrels, you got to get rid of the whole family. Because you got to close the hole. Yeah. And so like, man,
were they in the attic or what?
Yeah. Okay. So and they would every day wake me up at 7 o'clock. I'm not lying. Yes. And it's like in the corner. And like one day, like I was just so fed up, like I started kind of hitting the ceiling with like this little hammer, and I actually put a hole in the hammer.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the ceiling,
like this little small hole, man. But
just chasing squirrels. That's how you know you've been driven crazy. It's like I just picture you standing up on your bed, just like trying.
That's what I was doing, and I was beating on the walls.
Were you just trying to scare them out? Is that what you're thinking?
I thought maybe the noise, but because I had like a subwoofer and a JBL like speaker in the living room, and that's where they started out. And I was playing music every day because I started working from home, so I'm like jamming and working on the house and whatnot. And then I guess all that, the noise and stuff moved them to my bedroom on the other side of the house. And so, like, there's this big old hole. And, like, I'll put a piece of wood and they'll chew that piece of wood
From
up.
the outside?
Yes. I'm like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I was about to just let them have it. I'm like, you know what? Y'all can have this. But
don't lie, you thought about running your speakers up into the attic.
Oh,
right?
I thought about all types of stuff, man. Smoke bombs, like those ones you get from, like, for 4th of July.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to get a couple of those, throw them down in there. This will do it. And I end up getting rid of them, man. I had to put some the rat poison that you get. I had to drench it in like honey and like peanut butter, and I put it in there and like I left it for a while, and eventually like no more squirrel.
Yeah.
And I guess it.
Hopefully it got out, right?
Yeah, it got out, got dead. One of the two.
I've only had one pest. I had a mouse come in one time, and
a small one, like
it was a small one.
Okay,
it was a small one, but it's like you don't even know where some of the openings are in your house. You know what I mean? And these things can get through such a small little gap.
Yeah.
And so, we're waking up in the morning and you just see like drops somewhere, where the mouse has been running around.
Okay.
So you're like, all right, I'll set out some traps, So I set out, it was before I had a kid, so we could set out the snap traps with the cheese and everything and not worry about it, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm putting like cheese, peanut butter, all the stuff I'm thinking about. And nothing, man. Every morning I wake up, this little fucker just ate all the food off the trap and didn't set any of them off somehow, right? They're smart.
Right.
And so I finally narrowed it down to like a couple spots where he'd hit every single night, where he'd go around the house. And you're sitting there going like, how did he get on the counter? Did he just climb the wall? Like they can do this, And so I went hardcore. I got like glue traps. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get this guy.
Yeah.
And then, man, I felt horrible because I woke up and I opened the cabinet and I got him.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at this little defenseless mouse and he's stuck
move.
to a glue trap and he's not. And it didn't dawn on me that like he's not going to be dead. He's going to be alive on this glue trap.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, God, I gotta kill this mouse, man. Like, and it's like it's up close and personal, because you don't want him to suffer and die. Yeah. And what are you going to do? Just put him in the trash or something? It was brutal.
If it was a squirrel, like that squirrel, man, I put a. The mouse the mouse is pretty bad, but when you got an animal waking you up, even if it's a dog, but if you got an animal that's waking you up, and it's like a rustling sound, that's I don't know, it's every day, you know what I'm saying.
And it's only when you're trying to like get rest,
right?
Yeah,
7 o'clock in the morning. I'm supposed to be, I clock in for work and then like go back to sleep, but so I clock in for work, and then like I'm going back to sleep and he just start rustling. Like I feel like he worked for my job or something. Like they called him or something. I don't know.
HR sent him out.
Yeah,
dude,
man.
What if they actually did that? What if like the company went around to houses and like dropped off some squirrels and like go on, go do your thing,
keep them working, keep them up at night. Yeah, it was bad. I put a mouse trap like right at the entrance.
Yeah.
Right at the entrance, but it was set off, but I couldn't get the mouse trap out, but I saw a tail. So I don't know if it just chopped his tail off.
So you clipped him a little bit.
I might have clipped him, or he might have been stuck and ended up dying right there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever. Rest in peace.
Now you got me worried because we have a big old tree in our front yard.
Yeah.
And that was one of the selling points, right? Is like birds, squirrels, all these stuff running around.
Yeah.
And we've been lucky. We haven't had any squirrels in the attic yet, but it definitely
man,
makes me a little worried now.
Because once they start, like they don't like it's like a colony. I don't understand how it works. Like they just know that we can go to this house.
Well, all they are rats with bushy tails.
Yeah.
Right? If you take that tail off, it's just a big rat.
Yeah, it's just a rat, man. Yeah. But they stand on their rats stand on their hind legs too, don't they? Every now and again.
Yeah, I think the big ones. No, yeah, they all do, yeah. I saw Ratatouille. They did it in there.
Ratatouille, man. That's a good movie, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Ratatouille.
So I'm pretty intrigued by the business stuff, man. First of all, most comics are like, there's like a little pride in not being motivated to be successful outside of comedy.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's almost like, oh, I'm an outcast, I'm a loser, so I do comedy.
Yeah.
But instead you got motivation outside of it as well.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think just wanting more for myself. Like I want to be the funniest person in the room. I want to be the funniest person that hit the stage. But I know a lot of, not personally, but I know a lot of comics that are probably the funniest comics I've ever seen, but they're not where Kevin Hart is. And Kevin Hart's funny. Like don't get me wrong. Like he's hilarious. He one of my favorite comics. But you look at what he's done on the business side. Like he has several businesses, and it's he's built an empire, and he's still building it. And so like I look at that, I'm like, that's I want to be bigger than that. I'm not gonna limit myself. Like I want to be Kevin Hart, and I want to be bigger than Kevin Hart, right? But you gotta give credit where credit's due. Like he's killing it. His business, you know what I'm saying? He's doing movies. He's Heartbeat
always doing
Productions.
something.
He's everywhere. So I think I don't have to be just contained to just comedy, because I feel like even if I have a business, okay, well this business is gonna supply me with a network of people, and I do stand up comedy. So now, hey, y'all business event, you can hire me to do comedy at your business event. And then I got networking. I think important part of business is being likable. People want to do business with you, if they like you. Not always, but I do think it helps more than they can hurt you. And I think the same thing for comedy. Like comics book who they like.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't like a person, well, I don't know. I've never really been in a position to where like I don't like somebody.
Yeah. I know what you mean though.
But it's just being likable.
And it's not even conscious, right? You'll just think, oh, they're so-and-so's perfect for it. Yeah. Just because you think I like this person. Right. You're not even thinking like, I hate them. You're just more thinking of like, oh, we'll hit up them and them and them.
Yeah. And I feel like you got to look past, at a certain point, you got to look past like who you like. Because I feel like, especially when it comes to just booking, like if you're booking stuff, it shouldn't just be about who you like. If that person is funny, put them on the show.
Yeah.
I don't think you should. I get it. Sometimes it's hard to work with certain people and X, Y, Z, but if you don't like somebody, then I don't think that should constitute you not putting them on the show. But then again, who really puts money in people's pocket that they don't really like?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like
I know what you mean though. Sometimes people are really good, and you should be able to separate the art, right, from the person. Yeah. Especially in comedy where it's like a world of misfits anyway.
Yeah, man.
So it's like even with this show, I've had a couple people that I know where like you'll have weird stuff happen with guests. There's like a last minute cancellation or something, and it's a reason where if you were in like a professional world, you'd be like, that's kind of bullshit, And I don't like that. But it's like I always have to remind myself, it's like there's a reason a lot of these people do comedy. It's like they are not great in those types of situations. They would never last in a regular business situation, and so I do feel like I give comics a little leeway when it comes to that kind of stuff because. It's like the land of misfit toys sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
So, but I could see the need for bookers to go like, I don't necessarily like that person, but they're so funny,
right?
Where it's, I guess as long as you're not telling everybody to fuck off and giving them the finger,
man, for sure. There's got to be some balance.
But it's also, just from watching everybody perform, you can definitely tell it gets cliquish fast.
Oh yeah,
it's super cliquish.
That's what anything. But you see that, and so I think it's important to kind of stay neutral, which is, that might not be your objective. Like sometimes these people kind of just end up like, I guess, clicking up with those people, but it's not like I'm gonna just be with these people. But if these people are putting me on shows all the time, then why would I not hang out with them? But I get saying like I don't say, oh, you never put me on a show, that means you don't like me. It's a lot of talent in DFW.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, and it's a lot of talent outside of DFW. So sometimes comedians get booked that's from out of state or out of the metroplex or whatnot. But I think just not staying to yourself, but just staying humble and like realizing that it's not all about you. Like you might even. I heard something that's saying like when you realize people don't think about you as much as you think they do.
Yeah.
It helps your mental because I'll be straight with you. Like I struggle with that. Like I have a problem where I feel like I worry about what people think about me all the time. Probably way too much. It's just an issue that I deal with, and I'm trying to work through it. But it can affect things because I'm like, dang, this person, they don't like me, and I'm thinking about what did I do, and so. And then I might be awkward with them. Now they might think I don't like them. Yeah. It's just like a full
everybody's
circle.
In their own head, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks everyone else is judging them. Right. And really all of us are thinking like, oh, that was nice to be around them. I hope they like me.
Yeah, man. Hey, for real.
It really, for real. Everybody's that way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started working in like a more professional environment where you realize everyone's just trying to do their thing.
Yeah.
And they're so nervous that they won't be able to do that.
Right.
And once I kind of understood that, it really sunk in. Like I was able to relax more. Once you realize, like, even if I screw this interaction up, as long as I didn't try to be offensive, they're probably going to forget about it.
Right.
This is probably not going to be a memorable. Like even this interview, it's like a couple months will go by and you won't remember a thing we talked about on here.
Nah, that's not true.
It's true.
Nah, that's not true. I don't do many podcasts.
Yeah,
man,
but
so
I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just if you're doing things, if you have things going on, it's just natural.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like
that's true.
if you listened back to it, you'd go, "Oh, that's right, we talked about that."
Yeah,
but it's not going to be something that's on your mind every day, right? It's just gone.
I was just talking to my lady about that. That's what she said. She was like, she was saying like, she was like, you know, we got lives and we got other stuff going on. We're not gonna remember everything. I mean, I knew she was right, but you know, you can't always tell them they right.
Yeah, and y'all can't tell, but she's in the room, so it's really smart that he's saying she's right. You know?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to have a safe ride home.
Smart man. Yeah, but it's true. It's like most interactions are forgettable, and not even in a negative way. Right. It's just like you have so many, and it took me a minute to realize like. Just, you know, be yourself. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, especially if like you have like no malintent.
Right.
And I think that's like where I start to like, okay, like I know for a fact I don't have any malintent with this interaction. Like some people just I've ran into a couple of people where they just initially think that you out to get them, so they're gonna treat you maybe with no respect because it's like I shouldn't have to respect you because you gotta earn my respect. And so like, and I get it. Hey, you know, protect your peace at all costs. Do what you gotta do. But well, I know when I approach somebody, I'm in interaction with somebody. I don't plan to do anything, you know, malicious or anything like that. So then that helps me cope with like thinking about somebody else is judging me or they're thinking about me when they go home.
Yeah, like
you know, just like when we were in high school, like everybody's like, oh, we got to come to school with the freshest clothes and the fresh. Like, yeah, they care about it, but when they go home, they not like, bro, you should have seen Jerry with the 11s.
Yeah,
nah,
they're thinking about their clothes.
They gonna think about what they wore the next day. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's just stop. I got to stop worrying about what other people think about. But it's hard.
It is hard. But I think the only people, like to your point about people coming in kind of defensive already.
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's people who think, you know, like if Jordan has success, he's taking away my success.
Oh man,
which isn't true.
Nah,
right? It's not true at all. And like DFW's proven that right now. There's a lot of people having different success in different ways,
bro.
And it's not affecting anybody else.
Shout out to Cheyenne.
Yeah,
Man,
Jahani.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't realize, like, bro, he went, like, he's in commercials.
He's great.
And he's funny as hell,
Yeah.
but he's in commercials and he doing, like, you know what I'm saying? He got, like, his success on stage and he on camera.
Yeah.
And then Ralph Barbosa.
Ralph's killing it right now.
Man, shout out to Ralph, bro. That's crazy, bro. The way he deserves it, though.
He deserves it. He worked hard, and he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
And I think all credit is due. But it should also be a little inspiring to all the comics around here. It's like, hey, if you work on it, you never know. You know, he had a couple really good opportunities that found him at the right time.
Man.
But if he wasn't prepared for it, they would have been squandered.
That's what and that's what I was telling a couple of comedians the other day. I was like, yeah, I would like to blow up, right? But I don't want to like the level that he's blowing up, like Ralph.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to because
now.
I want to be able to headline, you know, and sell out clubs. Like I don't want a headline to come to me and be like, okay, I'm gonna take you on tour with me, which that'll be cool. I'm not gonna be like, nah, bro, like I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it, but it's something like you able to leverage yourself a little bit more when you the headliner.
Yeah.
And I don't have headliner material yet. So, I mean, it'd be dope. I would like to blow up, but I feel like it's hard. Once you blow up, I don't know if I haven't seen too many comedians that blow up and then blew up again. And then they're I don't know.
No, I get what you mean. And that's, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but that's the biggest hurdle he has now, right?
Yeah.
Is now, like, what he's going to go through over however long. It could be a couple years, I don't know, and I hope it goes as long as it can. But he's in that phase where it's like he's blowing up, this guy we don't know, how cool is this? And he's funny. Who is that? I haven't heard of him. And that goes a long way.
Oh, man.
And then once that is gone, now everybody knows you're funny, and there's new expectations.
Man.
Right? And so then it just starts back over.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think he'll be fine. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like your safest bet right now, if you had something that happened like that, whoever was working with you would just be to be straight with them. Just be like, I've got a solid this amount of time.
Right.
And then they would at least respect you more, right?
Yeah.
And because you can build off that.
Oh, man.
Whereas if you were like, I can headline, and then you do a great 20 minutes, and then you
and that's
suck for 30.
Because here's the thing: is like when you're doing comedy and like you see comedians like I just killed the stage, and like I don't know how to tell a comedian that they didn't just kill the stage, right? And I don't mean like I'm not no OG, I'm not like a comedian guy, so somebody's killing the stage might be a little bit different. But anyways, like, I don't know how to tell a comedian that. But my thing is, like, if you saying you kill the stage every time you hit the stage and you not, it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
You know, and I would hate that to happen to somebody, but it can catch up to you. You can get the biggest opportunity in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you open for, I don't know, shoot, like Tom Segura or like, you know, Dave Chappelle, and then like you crap out because like you had this perspective like every time I hit the stage, I'm killing it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good to have like self criticism or constructive criticism about yourself, and knowing when you didn't perform. Because I think what I've seen, last thing about this, I guess, I've seen comedians, I think when they kill the stage, what they're thinking is, I got up there, I told some jokes, I got some laughs, and I got off.
Yeah.
And that's me killing because I've survived. I didn't not get zero laughs, you know. So
I know what you mean, because there's getting laughs, right? Like it was that was funny.
Right.
And then, because there's a couple types of laughs, right? There's that's funny, I know it's funny, so I'm laughing.
Yeah.
And then there's I'm holding my side because I can't believe how hard I'm laughing.
Hey.
I don't even know why this is funny. I can't stop laughing. And to me, that's when you just kill.
Yeah.
Like one of the examples I'm thinking of is like Angela Walker.
Oh, bro.
Like when she takes the stage,
bro.
she's in full control. And that to me is killing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it doesn't matter the crowd. It doesn't matter who came on before or who's coming on after.
Yeah.
Her little chunk of time is just going to destroy.
Yeah.
And that to me is killing, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of other people where it's like, you are very funny.
Yeah.
But you're not just controlling the entire room that way. Yeah.
And that's really what's important.
Yeah. And it's like when you see it, it's almost like you're looking at a unicorn, right? You're like,
Bro.
I can't believe how you've just taken 200 people and they're just totally.
And that's every time, like, that's why I think it's important to stay in the clubs when big headliners come in town, because the way I look at it is like I saw Tony Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Tony Roberts live?
No.
When I tell you that was probably the funniest person I've ever seen live. I haven't seen like 1,000 comedians live, but I saw him live, and when I tell you, I'm talking about 100% house laughs, like everybody dying, and I've never seen anything like that. And to see that in person, you like, oh, I got a long ass way to go, because them the laughs I want. Those are the ones I want.
Yeah,
you know, because that right there, because it's just you get the ball rolling, like they going crazy, and it's a comedian, her name Tasha D. Bro, hey,
that one sounds familiar.
Yeah, she a dog, man.
Okay.
No, she knew like me. She like
I feel like is she maybe out of Fort Worth?
Yeah.
I feel like John Brown told me about her too.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, I put her the first time I actually like headline this like a hood spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on stage for 33 minutes. I didn't do 33 minutes worth of material. So I'll say that. But I put her up before me because I knew she was fire. So I put her up, and I mean, bro, like I followed her, but it was her night.
She took it all, huh?
Yeah, bro. And like I treat comedy like it's boxing, bro. I gotta get my lick back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's good, man. That's smart to put somebody that good in front of you.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Because you'll leave with the right attitude of like, damn. Like you're happy for her.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a jealousy thing. It's like I gotta get there.
Yeah, man.
Because the other thing, you know, talking about people who kill like that, what I've finally noticed now that I've watched enough, like I think as a fan, I'm like you're not an open micer anymore. You're performing, right?
And always open micer, man.
Well,
but I get what
I mean is, in addition to open mics, you're performing on shows.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
Right? You climbed out of only open mic.
Right.
Now you're performing shows.
Okay.
So I feel like as a comedy fan that I kind of go through those levels of understanding comedy, just watching it.
Okay.
And so now I feel like, okay, I think I'm a solid opener and a little bit of a feature as a fan. Like that curtain's pulled back a little bit to where you kind of see that process. And so now I'm watching some of these headliners when they're destroying like that. And now I'm noticing the whole room's dying, and then you look up at them, and they're just strolling around with the mic cable like, this is effortless.
Yeah.
Like, this is another night.
Right.
And it's that same thing where you're like, holy crap, how do you get there? You know?
Man.
And it's like I have no desire to do it, but I do want to understand. It's like, how is it that easy,
man,
you know, for this person?
When the way, like, it's crazy when you see, like, the build-up to, like, a joke. Like, you didn't, like, I just saw this crowd laugh. Like, there's no way they can laugh harder than this. But he not done with the joke. So then he do something else. Now they laughing even harder.
Mm-hmm.
And now they do this joke, and this part of the joke, and now they laughing even harder. And it's like, the compounding of the tags or whatever is put together well. Sometimes when you see it, it's just like, bro, this is, and that's why I stay when I get the chance, I go to the clubs that are headliner coming in town because I wanna see where I need to improve or like what they're doing, the type of crowds they bring out, just their energy on stage. It's a little different. I mean, everybody has their own style, but just watching somebody huge like murder this room, it just shows you like, what I'm saying, I still gotta be in the gym. Yeah. Like them open mics, like I ain't too good for them. I gotta get out to it.
That's a big part of it, man. Getting all those reps in. Man. It's talking about open mics and all that growth. How was it when you did? I listened to that Kill Tony episode. That you were on.
Yeah, man.
But what is that experience like going up there when you're about 2 years in? Yeah. You can get some laughs, but that stage in Austin that Tony has now, it seems like a monster, even compared to the old Kill Tony show. Yeah. I don't know. Did you listen to it a lot before you went up there?
Yeah.
You were already a fan of it?
Yeah, I was already a fan of it.
So you know what I mean? Back in California with like Jeremiah Watkins as the band and everything. Yeah. That show was definitely tough, but it seemed very seemed like everybody was always rooting for you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when I listen to the Austin shows, it feels like they are ready for blood.
Yeah, they are.
Like they're ready for you to be terrible.
It's because they like, I think, I don't know what it is, but yes, like, cause he's came to the crowd. He's like, y'all like it when comedians do good. Ooh, y'all like when comedians do bad. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
But I think what they appreciate is when you get up there and you kill it, and they already had low expectations of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting pulled out of a bucket.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't know who you are. So the way I look at it is like, they don't know who I am. Their expectations low. You know what I'm saying? They down here by the floor. So when you prove them wrong, then it's like they appreciate you a little bit more as far as the crowd goes, man. And I mean, that time, that was probably, that was definitely a highlight for this year.
That was the first time you've been pulled up there, right?
Yeah, I've been several times before. I signed up for it, man. But this time, just the stars aligned on this one. I'm not even, because Hans Kim got a tattoo. So like that's a token episode.
Right. Yeah.
When they talking about they were getting ready to do it, I was like, oh man, like
that's that business mindset. You were already thinking about like this will be great for me.
Yeah,
as well.
Man. It's wild. Yeah. I got a chance to do that. And I sold some merch off that episode to some people through Instagram.
By the way, I'm going to talk about your merch in a second, but I want to stay on Kill Tony for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because when you're going to do a minute, right? How did you decide which minute you wanted to do? When you already got about 15, 20 that you can do?
Well, like I condensed the joke I did.
You don't have to tell the bit, but remind me which one it was.
It's the contractor bit.
That's right.
Okay, so I did that one, but I opened up with a joke I did while I was driving down there, and I was like, I was just
because one minute's hard to decide. Yes, man.
So I came up with the first joke I opened up with, like this is like a quick one liner joke. I thought about that on the way down there. I was just like, well, why not? Like, like if I get called, we'll do it and just open up with this, but then I'm going to go into my actual material. Just because, like, I just kind of felt, I try to test myself because there's a certain style of comedy that goes on in Austin. And I appreciate it because it's a lot of it's some good writers down there and a lot of good comedians too. So I just try to take like some style that's like the main theme of comedy style that's down there, and that's the first joke I did. I just was like, I'm gonna do this one, then I'm gonna go into my actual material, and I was surprised on how well it actually worked. I don't know, man. I don't know how it worked. So I mean, I was confident. I'm confident in the joke. That's why I chose to do it. But like, yeah, man, it was just.
It's weird, right? Sometimes people just like your stuff, and sometimes they don't, and it's hard to explain why, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because I've seen good comics get on that show, and do bad.
Oh, it's real,
and they're funny. Yeah, they're funny, and it's just there's something about that minute. There's something about that room.
The night before, what was that? Monday, that Saturday night, I bombed before I went. So like it's like a lick, man. Like I said, like all right. So because the stage is humbling. Yeah. Oh man, it's humbling. Like I didn't, I did. Jay Farrell came in town. shout out to Jay Farrell though. Like that's one person that shows love.
You got to work with Jay Farrell?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
I pulled up. He so happened to be there. I go to the Arlington Improv. Like I'm hustling. And so I saw him, and then I was just like, I said something to him, and then he's like, all right, yeah. And then he told me, Eddie Murphy told him one time, there's a young comic that's gonna come to you and is gonna want to put you on the stage. I mean, he's gonna want to get on the stage and give him the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so I did the Friday show, and I came back Saturday, or maybe Saturday or Sunday, one of the two. And then I wasn't even coming to get on the stage. I was coming because I really didn't have much to do, and I was trying to support because he didn't have to give me a spot on his show. Mm-hmm. So I pulled up, and I saw him again. He was like, you want to do some time? I'm like,
that's so cool.
When they ask you, you want to do some time.
Well, and the fact that he remembered the interaction and everything,
man,
it's like
cool
you knew
man.
It was real, man. Not just some guy like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, but I got off track. But anyways, before I went to, I was just saying you do a show like that with Jay Farrell, and you know what I'm saying, he packed out room, sold out, people ready to laugh, and then the next night you go to a bar, you know what I'm saying, or a show that it just. You in your head man, I just did the improv. Mm. But still, because these people don't know who I am. I think that's where a lot of us comics get kind of messed up. Now, I don't know. I do. I just say if I just kill the stage and then I kind of have this I don't know, this energy around me,
man,
these,
I just
not cocky, but
no, but you feel good, man. It's it's like anything. It's like if you did a great workout, and you're like, there it is, versus, you couldn't get warmed up and get going.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you feel good.
So and then that's what happened at Kill Tony too. I was I gotta prove, even though it's not the same crowd, I gotta prove this crowd wrong. I'm funny. So and I think something I want to say to all the comedians that's listening, man, believe in yourself. I think that's one thing that kept me going through the toughest nights. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still got to keep believing in myself. I just started, but it when you get up there and the show don't go good or the open mic don't go good, believe in yourself, that's the only thing that's going to really keep you going.
Yeah.
Because you had somebody come tell you, oh, yeah, you were funny, but, if you don't believe in yourself, you ain't going to believe them.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of comics that I think are hilarious. They be like, oh, I'm a shitty comic. I'm like, bro, hell no, man.
Just this show alone, the people I talk to on this show, it's the mics will go off and I'll be like, man, that was great. And they're like, man, it fucking sucked. And then you'll talk to them about their show and I'll be like, dude, I saw you the other night. That was funny. And they're like, no, I'm terrible.
Yeah, it's because they're trying to force the I'm shitty.
Yeah.
Onto themselves. And I don't think that's good because I feel like it's what you bring into yourself. I'm shitty. I mean, it's the law of attraction. You telling you shitty. But then you're going to have this shitty mindset of yourself, and the comedian might offer you the opportunity you don't believe you can take it, but you really could.
Yeah, a lot of them have, zero self-worth.
Man.
Where if Jay Farrell was like, do you want to do time? They'd be like, no, I'm okay, man.
I know a comedian that turned the opportunity down. He was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it was a sold-out weekend.
And they will think about that for a long time.
I'm like, bro, how? Mm-hmm. Even if you bomb, mean, I hosted for Sidney Castillo when he came in town. Shout out to him too. But I hosted for him at the Improv. I hit him up, asked if I could get a guest spot on his show, and he was like, "You want to host all 5 shows?" I'm like,
all 5? There you go.
And I've never hosted at that level before.
Yeah.
And so I was nervous, but I was like, I'm not gonna pass this opportunity up. Mm-hmm. Because what I'm gonna say, no, he throwing me a bone. I'm a dog.
Well, and I mean, I got to imagine you learned so much from those 5 shows.
Oh yeah,
compared to doing 5 different.
Not all of them, but it was the first show was bad. It took me 2 shows to get the first show.
What do you think it was what was it that you had to correct? What were you not doing?
My approach, I was in my head too much, and so I went straight into my material, which you don't do as a host. You gotta, not from the way I do it and the way I've seen, what I've been told. That's not what you do. I mean, you do what you comfortable with. If you getting straight into your material and it's funny and it's working, then all right, do that. But the way I am is I gotta make sure the crowd feel me, because when you the host, you gotta make sure that these folks is paying attention, because they probably still ordering their drinks, ordering their food, snacking on some chips or something.
So what do you mean by not going straight into your material? What would
like
you do
messing
then?
with the crowd, like, you know, getting them active, like, hey, like, you know, how you doing, you know, and like crowd work, basically.
Yeah.
This crowd work. And I didn't do that. I got cold feet like within a split second because I was like, oh shit, like it's just I'm gonna go to what I know, and just because I know it don't mean it's gonna work. Yeah, it might work, but when you fresh up there, like at least at Arlington, like those type, like it's a more of a urban crowd, I would say, but it just depends on who they bring into town. But it's a different approach, and you can get into your material, and that's what I did the third show. And I mean, like I'll give myself credit. Like I feel like I did exceptionally well. And I mean, even Sydney was like, he was like, yo, that was a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That was better. And because he had gave me a speech, and it just so happened to like the speech.
Like after the first
helped.
two shows?
Yeah, like he gave me a speech, and he's like, man, don't let that shit fuck with you. Like, don't let this shit, like, this is what we do, you know, and you know what I'm saying? He was real supportive, like, because some headliners would kick you the fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, you not fun? Hell no. So he could have kicked me off, and he didn't. So that there also helped me, like, all right, like, yeah, I gotta come with the shit, because he could have kicked me off like the first night.
Right. When they're nice, you're like, I can't let them down again.
Man,
I can't let them down.
Man.
Yeah.
So and I got up there. It was comedian Q. Shout out to him too. It was me, and then it was Q. I want to say it was Cynthia Luciette. I don't know if you know who that is, but her, and then I want to say Q, and then Sydney. But yeah, I made it tough for them the first two shows. Like they had to work a little bit harder because I ain't crack it off like I was supposed to.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show that I got more work to do. You know, I wasn't able to get up there the first time and do it right. That means it's room for improvement.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Plus, that's got to be exciting, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, even when you go up there and bomb, it's like you got to just feel alive, though. It's like it's got to feel better to suck at that than it does to be good at something that's really boring.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, when the way that's I just appreciate it. I learned a lot from bombing, like not doing well. Like I did my very first private gig just this Saturday. It was a birthday party. It was poo-poo. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was bad, man.
That's a hard environment, though, for comedy.
Okay, they didn't really set me up for success.
Of course not. They're there for a birthday party.
Right.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show it's more work to be done.
Yeah.
Because if I was an exceptionally well, like, comic and I was polished, it don't matter. I'm going to get up here. I'm going to take their attention away from the food they just got put on the table, and I'm going to bring it to me. And so that's how I look at it. Like, yeah. She brought me up as like her comedian nephew too, man. She was like, "Oh, it's my nephew comedian.
He tells some jokes or something."
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, dang. Well, she told me she was gonna do that, and I'm like, yeah, like this gonna be fun, family, like. But like I'm in a crowd full of like doctors and PhD people, like these just 60, 50-year-olds.
Little stiff.
They ain't laughed since Richard Pryor died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and you got to come with it. And I got some good laughs, but as soon as they brought that chicken and that steak to the table,
it's over.
It was a wrap, man.
Yeah, you just hear forks and stuff clinking while you're performing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I kept saying, I was like, that food good, huh? Like it was when you start checking in, like throwing out congratulations, hey, y'all give it up for the band. That's when you know this shit ain't going good, man.
I've seen comedy at a few weddings, and it's just as bad.
Oh, man.
It's just as bad because it's the same things. The big event is like you need the comedy to be the main thing,
right?
Because people get distracted so easily.
Oh yeah.
Right? You know what I do want to check out though that I saw on your Instagram? What is that hookah lounge that you were performing at?
Oh, that's hosted by Josh Drake. Switch Alert.
Where's that at?
It's in Las Colinas.
Las Colinas.
Yeah.
That looked really awesome, man.
Yeah,
it looks like the small room, but they actually had like a big light setup and everything. Like,
well. It hasn't been like that in a little while.
Okay.
That was like when it first kind of started popping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it had already been around, but I think they changed a couple things, but it's still a dope show.
There?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm actually gonna be there next Tuesday. I'll be going there.
That looked like like I don't want to go to a bar mic all the time because it's like the birthday parties, right? Like so many of the customers aren't there to watch comedy, right? And then but you want to see shows that aren't in clubs,
right?
And so when I saw that room, I was like, oh, these people are. And I guess it makes sense since a hookah lounge, like you're more likely to just sit back and chill.
Oh yeah,
right. That's a lot different than a bar.
Yeah,
and people will focus a little more.
And he actually
But the clips you put from that, man, it looked like it was a fun environment.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's because the way it works, they have a room back in the back for people that just want to come in and smoke hookah, so they're not in the show.
Yeah, so you're not
people that
bothered
want to
them
be
if
the
they-
show are actually like, yeah, you know what? Let's watch some comedy. And so now they're ready to digest some comedy. It's hard to get a crowd. When a crowd ain't ready for no
Yeah.
comedy. Oh man, it's hard.
That's why it's so hard at the bar mic, right? Because these people are coming in going like, I want to drink.
Yeah,
and then
they
you're
just
like,
got out their
there's
job.
A show.
Yeah.
There's a thing.
Their boss bitching all day at work. Now they got to come in
Yeah.
and hear somebody they don't know
Yeah.
say some crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
And the person on stage is like, can you be quiet? Can you stop
Yeah,
talking? I know
man.
you're trying to vent about your problems, but I'm doing comedy here.
Yeah, bar mics are hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
Shout out to Brian Breckenridge though. He did a show at Arlington. At Dr. Jekyll's.
Oh yeah, that's the beer place.
Yeah, I don't know if he does it anymore. I think he just stopped it, but it was like 5 people in there. But I had fun, man.
That place looks. I followed them on Instagram because I saw a lot of bands playing out there too.
Yeah.
And it looks like the type of shithole that I enjoy.
Oh, it's
You know what I
dope,
mean,
bro?
Because like it's got the weird like suspended tile ceilings you
Yeah.
find in like an office.
Yeah, it's like they
place.
didn't finish it and some shit. Yeah. I was on their ass about that. I mean,
Yeah.
not like for real, but
Right,
I was
right.
just I was joking about it, which
Yeah.
they probably not used to that.
No, but then it like that kind of becomes the charm of the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like now it's to the point where it's like, well, if you make it nice, I don't know if I'm going to like it.
Right. And here's the thing I'm gonna say to all the if anybody own a venue, I can look at the cameras.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. All right. For all the people that own venues, if a comedian comes to your venue and he talking shit about your venue, that means he love your venue. So don't take it personal. I promise. Because Anyway, I just had to say that because
Yeah.
I had some venue owners who were like, hey man, like
We're trying.
yeah, I'm like,
We're trying
bro,
really
like,
hard. Yeah.
I really don't care. Like I'm not like, ugh, this is disgusting. Like man, I'll perform comedy wherever as long as y'all ready to have some fun, I'm down. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, and it's better that you're talking shit about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone else there is
Sees it.
thinking it.
Yes.
And it's like I got to see this guy, Dustin Nickerson and Zoltan Kazis in Richardson at a place called, I don't even remember the name. It was it's a bar. They have like a legit stage and they do comedy and they do concerts. But it's in this spot in Richardson that's just not really great for it. And it's in like a big shopping center. The first thing each comic called out was like, this is a really fucking terrible spot for comedy.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole crowd's just laughing. And it's
Yeah,
like,
man.
it becomes your strength that it's
Right.
horrible. So it's like, just
Yeah.
lean into it, man. It's great, you know?
And that's the thing. Like a comedian gonna remember that.
Yeah.
He gonna be like, man, I love that spot. You know, I don't like the spots where like it ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And then like you try to say something wrong with it and it don't go well because we're like, oh, I ain't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
It's
you're
kinda
right.
weird.
You're
Like
right.
the improvs, unless there's something raggedy going on, like on the stage or something, then you know what I'm saying, you can point it out.
But even places like the Improv and Hyenas, I don't think they do it intentionally because they're trying to look like a lot of these bigger famous clubs, right?
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say bigger. Improv is a huge thing.
Right.
But like the neon lights and all those things, those are all throwback to comedy stuff, but they're all super tacky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like whether
bro.
they realize they're doing it or not, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like if you ever walked into someone's home and the entire wall was filled up with pictures of everybody who's been there, that's weird and tacky, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's like that's what you want when you go to these places.
it's like a theme, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I've been I went to a couple of spots, man. That's they got comedians up there ain't never been there before. And so it's funny like that's always because that's just like the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's such you can't go to a comedy club and not see a picture of somebody.
yeah, it'd
you
be
know,
strange. You'd
right.
be like, nobody performs here.
Yeah, man. So it's cool. But I like any type of venue as long as the people there are ready to have some fun. You know, I did comedy in a strip club before.
Yeah.
that was terrible. Because the strip, bro. Here's the
Hold on,
crazy-
was this a strip club with women? Like,
Yeah.
the women were strippers at this
Yeah,
club.
yeah. No, I don't do male stripper clubs anymore.
Well, but I was asking anymore. No, but like, you went up on a stage knowing none of these guys here want to see a dude here,
Well, here's the bro. It was okay. Yes. It was.
and that sounded like a good idea when you booked it. You're
Well-
like, this should be good.
It was actually like just like a open mic.
Okay.
Right, so open mic at a strip club, which is even worse.
Man, somebody was in here talking to me about that. Oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. It's gonna Anna B. Is this the show? Was she putting on this show? Because she talked to me about performing at a strip club also.
This ain't. I don't, well, she wasn't at the one I was at. She might have came to it, but this wasn't the one I was. This was off Regal Road or something. I guess like the old. It was the old King of Diamonds or some shit.
Okay,
so it's like
the really nice strip clubs.
Shit, it was bad, man. Like like no one wants to hear it. Like no one wants to hear comedy, especially the strippers, because they trying to make fucking money. And you getting on stage with a mic, they trying to get on the pole right behind you, so you got, big booty shaking right behind your head, and then like now you trying to do some jokes. Now she getting off the stage, and it was not a good.
They were still on the stage while you were telling jokes?
They were, but then they were getting off. Like
it's that awkward in between.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh.
And so like the comedians that were up there were trying to like.
So you're like emceeing the strip club in a way.
It was weird, man. It was weird. Like I got up there and did a joke I don't even do anymore. But it was like a joke of like, yeah, I got white privilege and like, but I'm black and I'm better than all of you, which is like not obviously it's stupid. Yeah. But like,
I'm just thinking of the type of dudes in a strip club who are like, "You're not better than me."
Right, and the strippers too. Like all the strippers were looking at me, and as soon as I said that joke, they all like turned away.
Oh,
because they already think I probably have some like this complex set up.
They
for
probably
them.
think you meant it.
Yeah. And then like, so it was not. I got.
But then when you left, you're like, "No, I am better than them."
Nah, I ain't gonna say that, man, because I don't know who's listening. But,
okay.
But no, I got some dope ass pictures though from that, like flashes by Morgan. She cold with the camera, but that was a long time ago.
But when they hit you up to say, "Hey, we do comedy at the strip club," you said it was an open mic, right?
Where I was working at Hyenas that night, and then a comedian that one of my brothers in comedy, Trey Mack, had just told me about it. He said he was heading there, and I just met. I think we talked once before that. We wasn't like cool like that at first, like right then. And then he was like, "Yeah, we going here," and I think somebody else told me they were going, and so I'm like, "All right, I'll go after I get off."
Fuck it, I'll do it.
So I went, and I'm like, "There's no cars here." I'm like, "Okay, maybe it's gonna start in a little bit." And then we get there, like the only cars that are there are the strippers' cars, and there's really no people in there.
What day of the week was this? Do you remember?
Bro, Sunday.
Weeknight? Oh, Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, it was a Sunday, which you would think, but he had just started this club back. It was not. Yeah, it was not good. It's like I gotta write some stuff on that, but it was bad. Like,
dude, and that's like the beauty of what you do, right? Is like one night it's an open mic strip club.
Yeah,
that's horrible. Bro. And like, why did you even do it?
Yeah,
and then the next night you're getting thrown a bone from Jay Farrow, like, you want to do some time,
right?
And it's like that's the extremes, and then there's still so much more extreme on the good side that you could go to.
Oh man,
that's really funny.
It's crazy, dog. So it's just those type of things keep you humble, and I do think there's a point in time where you stop doing those type of things because you at a point you have to kind of value yourself as a comedian. You want people to respect you. You want to be taken serious and stuff. And so if you're doing every single show that's thrown at you, which I'm still doing that. Like I'm still hitting all these shows.
Yeah, but I think at this point in your career, that's fine, right?
Right. Hell yeah. But do you come to a point to where like if you headline already, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might not do a bar show.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you got something you really want to work out. But it's no diss to those. But I do think it's a level like, all right, now I'm at the level where the only flyers I'm gonna be on, if you put me on a flyer, I gotta get paid, especially if you're selling tickets. Just because it's not about the money, but I am a brand, and if people see me on like a bar flyer, and then they see me on like an improv, they be like, wait, like you know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand the grind.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And that's also, I mean, to me. Again, I'm an outsider, so I always preface it with like, I can not always know what's going on, and I get that.
Yeah.
But one of the things I do notice is comedy pay is really stupid. The way it's handled, and like you said, it's not even about the money. It's more of the like, can we all appreciate that this is a career?
Yeah.
And if we're making money off shows, people need to be paid that are performing at those shows.
For sure.
And that's really more of what it's about. It's just a respect of, I came and performed. I did a thing, and it's the same way like in music. It's like. people don't see that the hours that went into getting on the stage, and that's what you're paying for.
Right.
It's like, hey man, you're only doing 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't 10 minutes. Yeah. It was all this
it's
before.
Been 6 months.
Right.
You
and
know?
so it's like, even if it's just $25, it's like you need to pay something.
Right.
Just
something. I think that's what comics. It's a comedian. He was the first comedian to put money in my pocket. Rudy Ramsey. First comedian to put money in my pocket and pay me for a show. So I mean that type of stuff. Like I've gotten paid. I don't know, close to probably 1,000 times since then. I don't know, actually 1,000, but I will never forget. I've never forgot a couple people in between, but I'll never forget that was the first person to put money in my pocket. He actually wrote me a check. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I respect that because that's real business.
$3 on a check.
Hey, man, I think it was like $25 or something like that. I mean, I kept I'm keeping all my checks just to plaque it one day.
That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just so it's just certain stuff like that we appreciate, even if it's like $15.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I think if
me do like 30 minutes.
I think if it's not an open mic, there should be something. Just to keep that kind of professionalism about. Right. We're all trying to do something here.
It's some clubs that don't pay. That I really wouldn't. I still don't. I'm gonna do it because this is an actual club and they bring in people. And they're booking people here that are from Dallas. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to turn it down. I'm going to do it because I done did shows here before that I didn't get paid for this last time, but it was a great time. I take merch there. So it was like, you got to hustle. And that's why I tell a lot of comedians that I run into. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an OG or I'm not a mentor or nothing like that, but merch. Yeah. Man, because, I mean, any, merch. I done got paid $50 for a show, but I sold $250 worth of merch. Yeah. So I done left the house with $300, and the other comedians that's on the show just got paid the $50, and I'm the only one with a table. And I think it's just and people see that and they appreciate it because, especially if you do a free show, if you got a show that you own that's free, man, it takes something to sell.
Something. Yeah, it's like, man, you can just make koozies if you need to. Man, they're so cheap.
$10.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of your merch, man, your shirts are fucking stupid.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
The definitely the favorite is the actually it's a toss up. I don't know if I love Joe Biden falling off a bike, or the guy who rushed the Dave Chappelle show.
Oh man,
but those got to be selling like crazy, right?
Well, okay. So see where I messed up at is that's what I'm in the process of doing is getting a structure of continuously having the
just like doing limited runs of things as they come up.
Well, all that and having merch all the time on me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's where I fought that. So I mean, it's having the Joe. I haven't sold any Joe Biden ones because I haven't produced them. I haven't sent them off to get produced because just lazy. Mm-hmm. Not really lazy, but just part of being lazy and just. I gotta focus. I'm trying to focus on this right now, and then it's also kind of expensive. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta make sure I'm prepared for it to go buy these shirts, and then I'm gonna sit on them for a little bit. Yep. Because I got shows, but I'm not gonna sell 10 shirts each show. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, I got 10 of these, and I plan to wear the Joe Biden one next time I go to Kill Tony. If I get, hopefully I get called up. I think that'll be.
I'm sure they'll
dope.
Love that one.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, but I'm trying to create a series. It's a comedy hurt series. I'm kind of working on trying to every time something kind of goes on. Yeah. In the news, comedy hurts type shit. Yeah. So
that's what you got up on YouTube, right?
Yeah. So on YouTube.
So is it 712 Comedy Hurts Productions or what? Or 712 the.
It's 712 Stage. That's the name of the music video.
Okay, I got you now.
But I did promote my merch in the music video because I'm like I gotta do something.
So is that one of more videos to come? Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm working on another. Well, yeah, I'm working on another rap right now. Yeah, it's just I kind of have fun with it.
It is fun. Yeah, dude, and I love how many of your. First of all, I loved all the cutaways.
Okay, I appreciate it.
The one that cracked me up the most is definitely where you're standing in the hall in the Uncle Sam
Uncle
costume.
Sam, yeah, man, you're the second person to tell me. So I'm trying to do
I would
more stuff
have
like
thought
that.
you'd done some acting the way that one particular one went.
Really?
Right? Yeah, because the first cutaway where they're you're out in front of the club and they're like, "No, you're not funny" or whatever. It's that seems like a comic doing a little bit of acting.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of silly and fun
For sure.
But when you're like leaning up against the wall, throwing some game, it's like that felt like you
Yeah.
were really trying to act and
Hey,
make it
man,
real.
I
like that a lot, dude.
I was in that suit. I was like, I gotta sell it.
Where did you find these ridiculous costumes?
Amazon, bro.
Oh, so you actually bought them?
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
wrote the bars.
Uh-huh.
What I call bar. I wrote the whole song, and then I'm like, okay, how do I spice this up?
Yeah.
Because my original plan was just to get on the mic and rap, but then it's like, nah, because they gotta know I'm a comedian. Like you can
Yeah.
listen to the lyrics, but it's a lot of people like music videos, so that's why I did a music video, and that's why okay, Uncle Sam, and then I had one like I had a fat suit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it made the cut.
No, you did.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was the fat suit, but it was like a muscle suit or something that you wore
Wait, it was
instead.
actually supposed to be a fat suit. It's just cheap ass fat suit.
Oh,
so
it looks
just,
like you went for like biceps and quads
yeah,
and
bro,
stuff.
yeah, bro. I spent like
That's even funnier
$25
now.
on that.
Yeah.
But that's where I was going, and then I had some other stuff I wanted to do, and it was some things I just didn't get a chance to put in there.
Sure.
But it was definitely fun producing it. And shout out to RJ Prince, Dominique Thomas, Trey Mack, Corey Cherry, and my brother Blake. Those are the audience members I had, and Junebug.
Yeah.
That's one of my.
Who was holding the mic for you?
Junebug.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That was fun.
Shout out to him.
That
man.
thing made me laugh so hard seeing you use like the stage mic, but trying to hang it like a rap mic. Like they do
Yeah,
in the
bro,
studio,
and that's my whole plan was just to do it like that. But then I was like, I didn't have. I tried it. It didn't work. I was like, all right, bro, how can we make this funny? So I'm just put him on the stage,
It was
holding the
great.
mic.
Yeah, it's a good move.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So I hope to do more stuff like that, bro.
I think that's where you got to go. I love any little skit like that.
Yeah.
That is because on one hand you're getting to promote what you're doing,
Right.
But on the other hand, you don't have to take yourself too seriously doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where it's just fun. It doesn't
Yeah.
become like we got to make a promotional video, hey, come check out my stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's no, just do something that's fun. Because and that's the advice I give everybody, like music, comedy, whatever, is if when you're done with it, you think, I had a good time. I liked doing that, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't control if people like it.
Right.
You just can't. And so all you can do is go, because once you start going, will people like this?
Yeah.
Then there's a good chance it's going to suck.
I struggle
because you
with
can't
that.
predict it, right?
Yeah, I struggle with that. I
Yeah.
ain't
So
gonna lie.
I think what you have to do is go, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wrote that. I think this is the best it is.
Right.
And if people don't like it, that's fine. But you'll still go, well, it's what I wanted to do. They just didn't like it.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
That's real.
And because then you
I
can.
need to hear that though. I'm glad you said that. I needed to hear that.
Because then you can sleep at night,
Yeah.
right? Because if you change it all up and then they still don't like it,
Then it's like,
then you're
bruh.
going to wonder, God, that was it. If I just would have
that's
done it the way I
real.
wanted to do it.
Damn.
But you're better off going like, I did it exactly like I wanted to,
That's some
and
good
it
advice.
sucked.
That's
Like,
some good
but I knew it was okay. It's out of my system. Now we
Right.
go on to the next thing.
Damn. That's so crazy because I had a merch idea and I sent it to my two homies that I've been kind of sending it to. And one of them was like, yeah, that's right. That's fire. And then the other one was like, it's cool. Like the logo cool, but the other part, like, that shit suck. And I'm like, damn. I'm thinking like this is gonna be a nice piece of merch. Like this is gonna be it. It's gonna be one of the golden pieces I think that I make right now. And so then when he told me like it suck, I got in my head and I'm like, damn. And I changed the quote. So I'll probably go just with the original, just to say like this is what I did.
Yeah.
So I can get in that routine of like what I come up with first. If I don't see the imperfections in it right then you know I'm gonna just.
I think it's a good move because, like, you're gonna have some things that just don't work.
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing you can do about that because again, you can't control what somebody likes or dislikes. All you can do is put it out there.
Facts.
Because there's stuff that people shouldn't love and they do.
Right.
And you can't explain it. Right.
Yeah.
And like anytime you just try to predict it, I don't think it works out well.
Not at all.
Yeah. But if you can look at it and go, I love that shirt.
Yeah.
I don't care. Then other people are going to like it. And more importantly, you will never make anything that 100% of the people enjoy.
Right? That's part of
You just never will. There will always be your one buddy who doesn't like it.
Yeah, man.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That goes for when you hit the stage with jokes. Now everybody in that crowd, like that's the thing I struggle with is like I want everybody to like it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of the things I'm gonna have to get over because everybody's not gonna like it. And I think it just goes into trying to fit in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're up on a stage like baring your soul and your jokes.
Yeah.
So even if 100 people are laughing, but 2 aren't, you're just gonna think about the 2.
Yeah,
that's all you're gonna think about.
Damn, like why wasn't that?
Yeah.
I just got lucky with those 100.
That's
people.
just natural because it's personal. It's not like you're up there reading a book or something. Like it's super personal. So yeah.
That's real.
What mic are you trying to hit tonight?
It was supposed to be Balcony Club.
Oh, that's over by where I live, over in the Lakewood area.
Yeah,
I'm in East Dallas. I don't live in Lakewood, but
okay.
That place, they do an open mic there?
Well, yeah, it's like a.
What time does it start? Did you miss it already?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go to it, but
Okay.
it's like a it's like 8:30 or something.
Oh, okay.
Sign up is like 8:30, but since I invited my lady to come with me, she them late nights, 11:30, 12 o'clock.
That Balcony Club, man, I love that spot.
Bro, it's a dope spot.
You've been there before?
I might take her there, but just like,
it's cool. Go on a weekend night, man.
Yeah.
Go get some dinner and then go get drinks there afterwards.
Yeah.
Because there's a bowling alley next to it, but that used to be a concert theater.
Word.
So that's the Lakewood Theater, and
okay.
It's just one of those things like it was a concert venue for a long time, and then it went out of business, and somebody else I think reopened it, and then it went out. They've just always struggled to keep it open, but it's one of those like classical old school theaters.
Really?
Where they got like all the artwork on the inside, and right now it's like a bowling alley, which it kind of sucks, but at least they're keeping the building there.
Yeah.
I guess I would love to see it turn back into a music venue.
That'd be dope.
So we used to go see concerts there, and then afterwards we'd go up to the Balcony Club, and they would always have some little like you've never heard of them, but they're like a really talented band.
Yeah,
it's like the 60-year-old guys who know how to play their instruments.
Man,
and they're just going crazy in there, and then it's like a nice little dark room. It's small,
yeah,
and
it's intimate.
it was
real
fun,
chill.
man. I loved that place. I haven't been there in a while. I'm gonna have to go now.
Yeah, it's. I went there. Shout out to. I did a lot of shout outs, but it's just so many people that are like so dope on the scene. But Steady Eddie, He told me it, and shout out to him, man. But I haven't actually performed there ever.
Yeah.
I was supposed to, but I work on Tuesday. I get up in the morning Tuesday morning, so I try to like not be too tired at work because I got to pay bills, so I can't lose my job.
Well, you gotta clock in, go to sleep, chase the squirrels.
When I used to work from home, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
But I work in the field now, so I mean, same company, but hopefully they don't watch it because they gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what he was doing back.
He was just joking,
ago.
guys. He was joking. All
But
right.
yeah, so I get up in the morning. I actually work in the field, so and I drive my truck. I had to get to the location where we work at, so I can't be tired, man.
Those late nights are hard, man.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to reevaluate what mics I can go to, which ones can I afford to go to as far as losing sleep, and trying to build that routine back up.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to be more efficient, right?
Right.
You want the shows you're doing to be taking the most value out of your time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because that's the one thing you can't get, right? You can work your ass off and get money and all the objects you want, but the time is what you can't get back. That's the hard part.
That's fact.
I think you're on the right path, man. I've like I said, I was really excited that you were on Emily's show,
man.
And then I was racking my brain. I've seen you at an open mic somewhere, but I cannot figure out where it was. But and then I heard you again on Kill Tony, and I was like, every time I've watched you, I'm like, this guy's been consistently funny. And then I can definitely tell on social media, like, you're trying to get things going as often as possible. So
it's hard, bro.
I think the next time I talk to you, man, you're going to have some more progression. You're going to really be happy with where it's going.
So I appreciate that, man.
Good luck with everything. How do you like people to follow you so they know where you're going? What's your social media of choice, I guess?
Instagram, for the most part. You can follow me on Instagram at Jordan J Comedy, just a letter J. Facebook is Jordan Johnson, and then that's pretty much it. That's only it. 2. I'm also launching an LLC to help out not only myself but comedians. It's called A Comedians Company. That's the name of it. So working on that right now, man. It's gonna be some things. A lot as far as like facilitating specials. Like open mics, like where they at type thing, even though we kind of already got that, but and also I'm gonna be selling my merch, and I plan on like pushing towards like featuring comedians every now and again, that comedian in their merch if they don't have a website or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like
kind of being like a shop where other comics can come and help move their stuff too.
Exactly, and I kind of feel like it's important to invest back into each other.
Yeah,
because we're the comedians, so And it's enough opportunities. So you were mentioning something earlier about if I'm winning and somebody feels like I'm taking opportunity. It's so many opportunities out here for everybody. Like I think you just got to figure out how to go get it. But I just trying to take the business approach to comedy as well as being funny on stage, but also learning business because I feel like that's important to succeed in this is to know business.
Yeah.
Because I am a business. I provide a service, so I got to know how to facilitate myself, how to leverage myself, how to pay my taxes.
Pay those taxes.
Man, hey, I'm telling you, man. But, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, man, and that'll be unfolding here in a couple months. And
that's
I
exciting,
can't wait to
man.
launch it. Yeah.
Well, anytime you want to come back on and talk about something, let me know.
Hell yeah, I'll be back,
it.
man.
Absolutely.
This was dope, bro.
Well, dude, thanks so much for coming on.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you.
The I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.